Hi, I'm Niall from GulfStream Boat Sales. Today we're taking a look around a 2003 Regal 2665 Commodore. She's a 26-foot sports cruiser. It's fitted with a Yanmar diesel engine that makes 240 horsepower. She comes complete with a UK spec road trailer. It's got a very nice specification. It's a very striking looking boat. It's in very good condition throughout. So we're going to take a walk around the boat now, show you the sort of shape that she's in, show you the features on board and put her through her paces in the water. This Regal 2665 model was in production for quite a while and it's a very modern looking boat. She has very sleek lines with the nose tapering to like a fine point at the front, and this navy blue colour band also tapering towards the stern. It means she looks very in proportion and very sleek on the water. They're a very high quality boat, and that extends to like the gel coats and the finishes and stuff. So even though this is a 2003 boat, this gel coat is still in fantastic shape. I mean, we've got a full sort of mirror finish in it. The navy blue is very striking looking. It's accented by this yellow boot stripe just above the waterline. And then we've got like a crisp white gel coat on the top side. So the whole boat looks very good. There are a few scuffs and scrapes around the hull here, which is sort of to be expected on a boat of this age. But it's purely cosmetic and really nothing to worry about. I mean, the overall opinion whenever you take a couple of steps back from this boat is it looks pristine. Like I said, it's very striking looking. Whenever you go up close, you can find a few little bits and pieces here and there, a little scratch just here. But you really have to be looking hard to see these type of things. You know, that's about an inch long. They are very minor. Boat's fitted with a nice stainless steel, high polished anchor roller at the front there. We've got stainless steel rub rail inserts, obviously stainless steel cleats, stainless steel chrome effect porthole surrounds and stuff. And the general condition down along this starboard side is very, very good as well. Again, if you're looking really hard, you can see the odd little scuff and scrape in the gel coat, but I mean, it's nothing to worry about. And like I said, on a casual walking past this boat in the marina, you're never going to see these things. I mean, you really do have to be up close and looking at it in the light to spot any of the defects. But coming further back, the boat's pretty much on mark down around here. All the hardware, the bow rails, the cleats, everything's nice and solid and secure. The Regal lettering is in good condition. We've got a little bit of star craze in here in the gel, which maybe where the boat's had, you know, a bit of a push or something like. But it's, again, you have to be looking close for these things. The overall appearance of her is very, very good. For the age of the boat, it's in great shape. Taking a look at the transom then, again, she's in overall very nice condition. There's a couple of little marks here on this corner, on the port corner, little mark in the rub rail here, some marks in the gel. This is a very common area on these boats to attract a bit of damage just because of the way they handle in and around the jetties. But there's no signs of any heavy knocks or anything, and no signs of any previous repairs, so that's all. I mean, it's just purely cosmetic, it's nothing really to worry about. The transom itself is in good shape. There's an integrated swim platform here, which is the full width of the boat. It's probably about 2 feet deep or so. We've got storage in underneath it as well. We've got 3 separate opening storage compartments, and it's actually a very big locker because you look at the depth of this here, it's the full depth of that moulding, so you can fit shore power leads, fenders, ropes, all that type of stuff in there out of the way. We've got a folding 3-step stainless steel boarding ladder. We've also got a centrally mounted ski tow point, which is pretty unusual, and not all these sports cruisers will have a ski tow point, but if you want to pull like a water toy, rubber ring, something like that, maybe even a wakeboarder, you'll be able to do that with this boat. It's not going to be quick enough to pull skiers out of the water really, but for some of the board sports and the rubber toys and things, you can do that no problem. We've got stainless steel cleats. All the hardware back here is all stainless steel. We've got these pop-up cleats as well, so they're really good because you can push those down. It means you're not going to stub a toe on them if you're using the boat for swimming off. And then stainless steel handrails and everything for getting in and out of the boat as well. This boat's fitted with a Yanmar 240 horsepower diesel stern drive engine. It is, and it's matched up to this Mercruiser Bravo 3 X drive. So the X designation means that she's uprated to handle the higher torques and things of the diesel motor. Now the drive was brand new last year, so I know it looks a bit cruddy here because it hasn't been cleaned up properly. Just didn't get time to get it cleaned up before the video, but this drive's in perfect shape. And I think she actually still has a bit of manufacturer's warranty left on it as well. I sold the boat to the current owner about 2 years ago, and if you check back through the old videos and stuff on YouTube, you might find the video and you'll see that the drive wasn't in the best of shape at the time. So the current owner decided to just go for a new drive, just to freshen it up and give him trouble-free boating. So you will see here that the transom, the bell housing assembly and the transom is original to the boat. There's a little bit of surface corrosion on it, but these are purely housing components. There's no shafts, there's no real seals or anything in there. And from here back, right to the tip of the skeg is brand spanking new. So that's great to have. The paint finish on it is perfect. The anodes will probably need replaced for the coming season, just to freshen those up. I think that's probably what happened to the previous drive. The anodes probably weren't kept changed regularly enough to keep corrosion at bay, but with this one you definitely want to keep on top of the maintenance, keep the anodes nice and fresh. It is a dual prop drive, so you've got two counter rotating propellers on the single shaft, which means that the boat tracks at slow speeds in a straight line much better, so you don't have to sit and saw away at the steering wheel to get it to go in a straight line. And it also helps the boat get up on the plane faster, stay on plane down to slower speeds, and just generally gives her better grip in the water, so it turns tighter and it handles really well. So the drive is in very good shape, and on a boat like this, if you know the price of these things, like £4,000 or something, the fact that you've got full confidence in the stern drive is very, very valuable. So that's all in good shape. We've also got trim tabs mounted on the port and starboard side on the boat, so again they can help control the running angle in a crosswind. And if you've got a big load of people on board, you're running at slower speeds, you can drop both tabs down and it just keeps the boat more level in the water. So everything back here is in really good shape. All the bellows were done at the same time as the drive was replaced, the gimbal bearing was changed, so all those big expensive maintenance items have all been taken care of, and everything out here is top notch. As you can see, the swim platforms are really good size, makes boarding the boat from the jetties really easy on either the port or starboard side. Everything's molded on skid here. I'll just show you the size of this locker. So, huge, big enough for fenders and shore power leads. The shore power hookup is actually down in there as well, so it keeps the cable out of the way whenever you're not using it. And we also have a little transom shower here, hot and cold water shower at the back as well, so you can rinse yourself off after a swim. This here stainless steel handrail runs right the way across the stern of the boat. So again, if you're boarding from the starboard side, you've got it's nice and safe walking across the back of the boat. Access in through to the cockpit then is through this little transom gate. So there's a wee positive locking mechanism on that, and you just step up over a little ridge on the transom. Gives access into the cockpit here. So the deck is fully fiberglass lined, drains overboard. We've got a really good layout in here. We've got this sociable sort of seating arrangement at the back, so that'll accommodate at least 4 adults, probably 5, around a little table you can set up in there. And then this seat also slides out to make a sun pad or even a bed. After dark you can put the camper covers up, and you can have kids sleeping out here or whatever. We've got a double wide helm seat then further forward, and we've got an offset door giving access into the cabin. So that's a little bit of an unusual layout, but I think it's great. I wish more builders would do it, because it ends up, you've got a really nice spacious helm position where 2 people can sit up at the steering wheel, and downstairs it gives you a more open plan sort of layout in there as well. It gives you a bit more elbow room down in the cabin, but we'll take a closer look at that in a minute. We've also got a little wet bar here on the port side with a pressurized tap and sink. We've got storage underneath. We've got a storage compartment for a cool box and a little Corian counter. So the quality of everything in here is really good. It definitely feels like a premium boat whenever you're up inside, and condition wise it's in great shape as well. With the sun lounger extended out, there's no, you don't have to, this is not a filler cushion, this is like the seat base from here, this is the seat back, so it's just on a, it's on a slider, you just slide it out. And you've got, it's a good size, you know, it's like sort of like a double berth. And you've also got the backrest there at the stern, so you can sit and lounge in the sun. You've still got access to your cup holders and stuff like that. So, and the mechanism and everything's working really well. All the upholstery back here is pretty much perfect. I can't really find, so that's a little mark, just a bit of dirt there, but there's no tears or none of the stitching's coming apart around the seams. The upholstery is all in great shape. The seating's all nice and comfortable. This is a really high backrest on this stern seat. And the cockpit coamings, they all come up to a good height. And they rise up quite a lot there. So that the windscreen is nice and high. You're getting well sheltered from the wind, and you feel nice and safe and secure whenever you're sitting inside the boat. The top of these cockpit coamings is also moulded, non-skid. So if you're jumping out at a pier wall or something, you know, you've got somewhere safe to step on your way out or into the boat. And then this seat base here folds flat against the transom to give you access down into the engine bay, but it also means if you're planning on fishing off the boat, you've got you've got a decent bit of deck area back here, so you can get right up to the side of the boat for casting a line out. So to fold this down, you simply just fold up the two legs, and she pivots on those hinges and pushes in flush against the transom. The engine hatch itself lifts on a couple of gas assist struts and gives us pretty good access down into this Yanmar diesel engine. It's a 240 horsepower motor, it's turbo diesel, it's very fuel efficient. These diesel engine sports cruisers are always very popular because they give you a great blend of performance and efficiency. You know, the boat gets up on the plane probably in about like 8 or 9 seconds. It runs up to sort of 35 miles an hour, which is plenty for general sort of cruising, whether you're around the coast or on the inland waterways and stuff. But at the same time, she's very, very easy on fuel. I mean, this motor will use probably around about 5-6 gallons an hour at typical cruising speeds of sort of 20 to 25 miles per hour. It's also a very, very reliable unit. This is based on a commercial engine. They're a very common motor. It is, it's lightly stressed, and they'll run forever. This one's in good shape, condition-wise. There's no signs of any corrosion in there. You've got all your bits and pieces of equipment down in there, from your calorifier with an engine hookup, so you've got hot water whenever the engine's running. We've got a twin battery setup. there's quite a few storage options throughout the cockpit of the boat. So we've got a big cupboard here underneath the wet bar. It's a huge size. You can also access it from in here as well. That runs down the full length of the cockpit side. As I said, we've got a cool box in here, dedicated storage for a little igloo cooler. We've got storage underneath this seat here, which is accessible from this big hatch in here. And we also have another storage compartment here with a little receptacle for a bin and a shelf and stuff in there as well. So, you know, if you're looking to prepare a bit of lunch or something, there's enough room on board to get all your bits and bobs in out of the way. And you got this little countertop here and a nice decent sized sink as well. The boat has a nice elevated helm position, so you're sitting quite high up, and it gives you great visibility right out over the front of the boat, and also over the tops of the heads of your passengers in the cockpit back here as well. So good all around visibility for just keeping an eye on what's going on and whenever you're coming into berth and things. The helm seat's fantastic. It's like a bucket sort of, it's a twin wide bucket style seat, so you've got nice side bolstering and stuff on it. They both have flip up bolsters, so if you want to stand at the helm or get a bit extra visibility out over the top of the windscreen, you can do that. But they're a very comfortable seat, so on longer journeys, you know, you're nice and comfortable. We've got this huge big cushioned armrest here as well on your right hand side, and then the throttle lever is just falls very nicely to hand here. We've also got our trim tab controls, again well placed at the driver's right hand, and it's very easy to get a comfortable seating position because this whole seat slides forward and aft, so you can get up close to the dash if needs be. And we've got this tilt position steering wheel with 5-position tilt on it as well. There's also a raised footrest down below the helm, so it's really easy to get. This would be a very comfortable boat for longer journeys and things. In terms of the equipment and stuff we've got up here, we've got a full range of marine instruments. Just key on here to show you the hours. So we've got currently showing 504.7 hours on the clock. All the gauges, as far as I can tell, are operational. We've got a digital depth sounder here as well. We've got a compass out in front of the dash there. We've got a huge big flat area for putting charts and things like that on, and then we've got our full range of 12 volt equipment. So we've got engine bilge blower, bilge pump, wiper motor, deck lights, there's accessory power there as well. We've got an electric windlass in this boat, so that makes anchoring a breeze. You can just drop the anchor, but with the touch of a button here at the helm, it's in perfect working order. We've got cockpit lights, low level lights dotted throughout the cockpit, navigation lights, and the horn is actually not working, so it probably needs a horn, but I mean, they're like £10, so we can sort that out, no problem. We've got a remote control for the stereo here as well, and then we've got a bunch of circuit breakers in this boat, so you don't have to go, if something trips out on you, you don't have to go looking for a fuse or a fuse box. These are all manually resettable circuit breakers. The boat is also fitted with a Garmin, a GPS map 182 chart plotter. Now this is, I think this was original to the boat in 2003. The technology has moved on quite a bit. We're starting to get a little bit of lines on the screen. Now it does work and you can navigate through the menus and things, but it's not the easiest thing to read in the Word, so you maybe want to give some consideration to updating that unit anyway. I mean, the price of these things is now quite reasonable. They're down to like £300, £400 would get you a really nice new Garmin, but this one's working. You can still see it, and it's included with the boat, obviously. We've also got a NASA Marine SX35 DSC VHF radio, and that appears to be in good working order as well. So equipment wise, she's well spec'd, even for coastal use. Certainly the last I think 5 or 6 years of her life, the boat has been used exclusively in fresh water in Fermanagh here in Northern Ireland. So, but I know whenever she was first sold, it was on the coast in the UK, and she was used down around Poole Harbour and things. But in recent years, she's been exclusively freshwater use. In terms of the condition up here, everything is nice and solid and secure. The controls are nice and light. The steering's nice and light. The throttle and shift is nice and smooth. The finish, this is like a wood effect veneer finish. It is starting to wear out on these two switch panels and also on the dash as well, and it's just starting to look a little bit tatty. But I have seen it done quite a few times before. These are just popped in with a few tapered screws, so you can take the screws out, you can dismount the switches and respray those. You know, you could make them a nice matte grey colour, or you know, black or something, and just like freshen it up that way. But this is purely cosmetic. It has absolutely nothing to do with the use or functionality of the boat. But apart from that, everything else is really good. Like I said, we've got a little stainless steel cup holder here. It's all nice and secure. Everything that matters. The seat mechanisms, it's sliding back and forward really easily. The flip-up bolsters are working really well. The windscreen's in great shape. There's no corrosion or anything on it. It's nice and solid. These windscreen stays and supports, and the opening centre section is all in great shape. Talking about the opening section on the windscreen, there's a couple of moulded in steps here to give access out onto the foredeck of the boat, so that folds right open. This is all moulded non-skid, and it's a nice finish. It's nice sort of a browny finish which reduces the glare on the windscreen whenever you're underway out and about on nice days. And then you've got a great foredeck out there actually. Everything is moulded non-skid, so it's nice and safe. We've got an elevated bow rail there, and there's like a recessed area for sunbathing, so you can put down towels, and you see there's a little lip around that area, and there's also a couple of cup holders, two cup holders on either side there as well. So if you're sitting out there sunbathing, having a chat, having a drink, you can do that easily. And there's also a nice recessed flat section right at the fore peak of the bow, where the windlass sits. So if you're out there working with the windlass or dropping anchor or mooring the boat, you've got a safe area to work from there. Condition wise, everything out here is really good. So it's all stainless steel cleats. We've got our water fill point here. We've got a little recessed deck light, so even if you're mooring up the boat after dark, you can see what you're doing. Access into the anchor locker is pretty good. We've got a manual handle for operating the windlass. We've got a stainless steel chafe plate here. Like I said, stainless steel anchor roller and stuff, so everything up here is really good. And we've also got a little safety chain fitted, so if you happen to hit the anchor windlass switch from the dash inadvertently, you're not going to be able to drop the anchor. So this is great. This little area is drained as well, so any water will find its way over. And everything out here is in top-notch condition. One of my favourite things about this boat is this offset cabin access door on the port side, because it means, first of all, you get this brilliant double-wide helm setup, and you also get a nice wide step companionway out onto the foredeck, so it's very safe. And then similarly, you get like bonus room down in the cabin. But the door itself is a two-piece arrangement. It's all working extremely well, and it's a great shape as well. You've got these really high-quality stainless steel catches and stuff on the top section and on this section, so whenever you're on the way, the door can't fall close on you. There's one little step here down onto the threshold of the cabin, and then we've one more step down into the cabin itself here. So the benefit of the offset cabin door is that you get this really big companionway here compared to other 24 to 26 foot sports cruisers, where it's all very narrow and you've got a wee cubby hole you have to climb down into to the aft cabin. This one is more open plan. We've got this nice angle on the galley, so that it opens up the space where you come into the cabin. So a big bugbear of people with these boats, and one of the big reasons why people who buy entry level boats want to move up to something bigger, if they use the cabin a lot and they stand at the galley, they always complain about not being able to get two people past. You're having to sort of place, you have to sort of juggle around to get past people. But if somebody's standing here at the galley, you do have good room to get past each other, so that's a really good thing. And whenever you start to use a boat like this, it's all those little things that make the difference. So the galley is much bigger than you would normally find as well on a boat of this size. We've got a good sized sink with hot and cold running water. We've got a microwave here that works off shore power. It's in good condition. We've got a hot plate here, so it's an electric hob. Again, works whenever you're plugged into shore power. we've got this Corian counter with nice fiddled edge around it. We've also got a shelf up here again with raised edges to keep everything in place. And then we've got a good bit of storage underneath here. We've got two big cupboards, fire blanket in there, and a little shelf. This is just a big open cupboard. And we've got a 12 volt, that's actually a dual voltage refrigerator in here, so it'll run off the batteries or shore power. And again, that's a good size. As you can see here, like I was saying, with the door offset to this side, it gives you a really good access into the aft cabin there. Also, because of that raised helm position, you've got a nice high roof line there as well, so this is not your typical sort of coffin berth in there. You know, it is a nice spacious cabin. There's a little opening port light in there. You can screen it off by pulling over this curtain, and we've got a little vanity mirror. There's a storage cupboard in there, and it's a really good sized double berth. I mean, if you're going away, you know, a small family, this is definitely where the adults are going to be sleeping. You know, it's good space, and you've got a good bit of privacy there as well. Here we've got our switch panels for all our 12 volt equipment down in here, and also our main system. So whenever you're plugged into shore power, you've got switches for the cooker, the hob, the sockets, microwave. There's a domestic water heater on here, and also a battery charger. Then in terms of 12 volt equipment, we've got all the light switches here, power for the stereo. We've got this Kenwood stereo CD player. It's working perfectly. We've got for fresh water pump, the boat's fitted with a macerator, so you can empty the holding tank by pumping the macerator out. And tank monitor here is the little monitor system for monitoring the levels in your fresh water tank and the wastewater tank. And then you can also turn on the engine blower from down here as well. So the quality of all this stuff is really good. You know, the fact that you don't find things like the tank monitors and stuff like that typically on this sort of entry-level style sports boat, but you know, this Regal would have been at the premium end of the market whenever it was new, and so you get all these extra little bits and bobs. The heads compartment is over on the starboard side of the cabin here. It's fully enclosed, and it is it's a really good size actually for a 26-foot boat. We've got a Jabsco manual pump out sea toilet. We've got obviously a sink there with pressurized hot and cold water. That the tap lifts out and doubles up as a shower head, and there's lots of storage in there as well. We've got a little shelf behind the sink. We've got a big mirror there. We've got a storage cupboard below the sink, and there's another storage cupboard up above there as well. So open a port light in there, and an overhead light. The full compartment's lined and drained as well, so you can shower in there. So it's like I said, it's a really good size for an entry-level sports cruiser. Up at the forward end of the cabin, then we have a really big U-shaped seating area, which doubles up into a massive V-berth then at night time as well. So we've got a Corian tabletop here, and there's enough room probably for 5 adults around here. We've full sitting headroom right the way up to the front. The backrests come up nice and high, so you know, it's a nice comfortable place to have a meal or sit and have drinks or whatever in the evening. The condition of pretty much everything in the cabin is very, very good. The headlining is perfect shape. We've got these lovely chrome downlighters dotted throughout the boat. You know, again, it's all nice, high quality feel to it. All the fiberglass mouldings around here are all in great shape. You know, again, the headlining material on the walls and things is perfect. The only thing that lets it down, which is going to be addressed, are these seat cushions. Now, this was the way that they were 2 years ago whenever I sold the boat originally, and what had happened was the previous owner had stored these in a garage or something over the winter, and it was damp and they got wet, and they have suffered now, and they're probably getting a little bit worse as well. So the seat backs and stuff are all pretty much perfect, but the seat bases are in poor shape and they're starting to fray and tear. Now the owner was keen to get the boat advertised, so we didn't have time to get these recovered, but these will be recovered before the boat's sold, and we're going to do the full set. So we're going to do all the seat backs as well and the seat bases, and just a nice sort of beige cream type fabric just to freshen it up and leave it 100% right. The actual foam and underneath the cushions is good. It's literally just the fabric is in poor shape, but apart from that, the cabin's perfect. That's the only thing that lets it down. You know, all the woodwork, the veneer, all the switches and the fittings and everything's all in really good condition. The filler cushions for this area are actually these backrests here. So these backrests just slide out and you can set them in here to make up the double berth, and it means you don't have a filler cushion kicking around then during the daytime, which is great. And we've got a good bit of storage as well. There's storage down behind the seat backs here, right up around. There's big recessed storage bins up here at the front, and then you've also got storage space in underneath the seat cushions, which is easy to access. Quite often on these boats you have to really fight to get these cushions are like wedged down in there, and you have to fight with them to get them out, and you run the risk of like tearing them or something. But on these ones they literally just lift up really easily, and the storage compartments are fully lined and drained. They're all fiberglass lined, so again it's a sign of the quality of the construction of this boat. You'll notice as well we've got these little overmats on the carpets. So these are factory overmats just to protect the carpets and stop them getting wet. So if you've got kids running into the cabin and you know, after swimming and things, it's good to have those just so the carpets don't get wet or anything. So yeah, it's a really fantastic cabin on this boat. It is a 26 foot. It's bigger than your standard entry-level sports cruiser just by a little bit. But really the way Regal have designed this boat, they've really maximised the available space, and they've made a really spacious cabin here. This boat comes with a trailer, and it's this SBS R4 3500B trailer. So it's bunk trailer, it's ready to carry up to 3.5 ton. It's perfect for the boat, and it's in very good condition. Wheel bearings are very good, the brakes are working perfectly on it. I towed the boat myself from her berth around about 40 miles away up into the yard, and it's towing like a dream. So the fact that she has a trailer really adds to the value of these boats. There's loads of benefits. One is you can tow the boat to different cruising grounds. So if you go somewhere different, you know, for 2 weeks in the summer and you want to take the boat with you, you can do that. If you want to keep it on the trailer and take it, you know, different places for weekend visits and things, you can do that as well. It also means that you're not at the mercy of the marinas and the yards for winter storage and things. So you can pull the boat out onto the trailer, take it home with you for the winter, or take it to like off-site storage, which is generally a lot cheaper than what marinas charge for lifting and storing boats. And it also means that if you want to do a bit of pre-season or mid-season maintenance or something, very easy to slip the boat out on the trailer and, you know, give it a clean and a wash, or if you want to check the props and stuff like that, it's easy to do. So trailers like this nowadays are costing around about certainly in excess of £3,000, probably closer to like £4,000 for one of this quality. So the fact that you have that is a really added bonus, and it also means that transporting the boat, if you're looking at buying the boat from further afield, you know, at mainland UK or throughout Europe or something, transport's really easy because this thing's legal to tow on the road. So you can just hook it up behind a 4x4 and tow it home with you, or you know, there's lots of transport providers that we use who will tow it behind their own vehicle, and it's a very low cost option versus, you know, the price of having to get a lorry and a low loader. So the trailer's in great shape, but it's included in the asking price. So there you have it. That's our 2003 Regal 2665 Commodore. It's for sale on brokerage. This boat has a very solid history. We've got all the original paperwork for it. So we've got the original bill of sale, we've got the original VAT paid invoice, we've got the original CE certificate, and I've known it for the last 3 years or so. I've sold it to her current owner, and she's been, you know, kept locally here for the past 6 or 7 years and used in fresh water. So it's a good example. It really does look the part. Very striking boat. It looks very modern, and the fact she's coming complete as a package with the trailer, with the counter covers, with the tonneau cover, with the anchor windlass and the GPS and the radio and all that stuff, it just makes it for a very attractive package. They're very popular, this type of boat, because it makes a great entry-level point into the sort of sports cruising lifestyle. If you're moving up from a sports cutty or a bow rider and you want to try out, you know, spending more time on board, going away for weekends and things with the kids, whilst still retaining that sort of sports boat feel, so you can get the wind in your hair, it runs up on the plane, you can still tow water toys and things with it. Then this gives you the best of both worlds, really. The fact this one is in such good condition and a very good value, I think, as well, means that you should prove to be very desirable. We always are getting asked about diesel sports cruisers. We've got quite a big list of people now in our database, and it's diesel sports cruisers are the #1 boat of choice. Whenever they do come on, they tend not to hang around very long, and I don't think this Regal's going to stick around too long either. It really is. It's a cracking boat and well worth a look. If you're thinking about something along these lines, this one's definitely well worth a look. Thanks very much for watching. If you do have an interest in it and you want to arrange to come and view it, please don't hesitate to give me a call or drop me an email, or you can fill out the callback request form on the site and I'll call you at a time that's convenient. Thanks again.